A lot of players want to make their game much harder for no reason, and this is absolutely surprising mistake, which in most cases ends really bad. Actually, why are we doing this? I'm gonna share all the secrets presenting 5 common situations, proving that sometimes being smart in pool doesn't always mean doing something much harder, and I'm pretty sure that you will learn some easy hacks that will help you take your game to the next high level. Okay, so let's start with our first situation where we need to get from 4 ball to the 9 ball, which is located on foot spot. We face quite uncomfortable angle towards top half of the table, and I'm almost sure that most players will try to hit the cue ball lower, use top rail first, and guide it to the left or right side of the table. These options are not bad, but trust me that very often you will have a problem to control optimal path and speed, what increases risk that you can lose position to the 9 ball and land in uncomfortable position. On the other hand, I can see players who want to use side rail first and guide the cue ball to the left side of the table, hitting side rail right before left side pocket. And once again, this option is not bad, but we may have problems to apply correct amount of left spin, which is necessary in this situation. This highly increases risk that we can lose position to the 9 ball or just scratch in left side pocket. So it is time to reveal the best solution to this situation, where all what we need is to apply top right spin and play 4 ball slightly thinner. Cue ball hits side rail first again, but right spin plays a huge role during contact with top rail, because cue ball changes its natural path and stays on the right side of the table. Very smart shot with less effort. Alright, the next shot is a great example that sometimes less means more. 4 ball is very close to the bottom right corner, and this is absolutely shocking, but many players desperately want to apply a lot of low left spin and go immediately towards left side of the table to play 9 ball to the bottom right corner. Please, don't do it like this. This solution requires extremely precise cue ball control, because you can very easily apply too little spin and hit 9 ball, or play too hard and just scratch in left side pocket. And I'm pretty sure that most of more experienced players exactly know what they would do, because by applying a bit of right spin, we can go around the 9 ball to the left side of the table. This option gives very safe path, but for many beginners it might be quite difficult to control speed of this shot and land in comfortable area, especially in stressful moments. So in this case, if you don't feel this type of shot, you can once again use very smart solution and hit the cue ball with bit of left spin and relatively low speed. Left spin helps us to pocket 4 ball due to spin-induced throw, and cue ball after contact with rail going automatically towards pretty good area, and we can play 9 ball to the left side pocket. But if you don't feel a shot with that amount of speed, you can play a bit harder and guide the cue ball to the left side of the table to play 9 ball to the right side pocket. Both options are great in stressful situations where you want to make position in the easiest possible way. The next situation is very interesting, and surprisingly many players still make a huge mistake which costs them many games. And actually, I don't know why, but I saw it many times where players try to make this shot using a lot of speed, hitting opposite side rail very close to side pocket. This is a very risky option because first of all we can scratch in opposite side pocket. But luckily I realized that once again we need to guide the cue ball in safer way, and some more experienced players will try to play a deep draw shot with touch of right spin to make position to the 9 ball using 2 or 3 rails. But this shot requires high quality stroke, so in this case for less experienced players it might be quite tricky to deal with this solution. But don't worry. All what we need is to hit the cue ball with bit of top right spin and use natural speed. As you can see, we are hitting bottom rail first in safe distance from the corner pocket, and right spin gives additional speed to the cue ball, which going towards intended area following very safe path. Okay, moving on, we face extremely obvious and easy situation, but to my big surprise, many players still make a horrible mistake, which I simply cannot understand. We have cue ball in hand and we need to get from 4 ball to the 9 ball, and actually I know what you are thinking right now. Simply no way to fail it. Think for a moment, how many times have you seen a player who left the cue ball in front of the object ball and tried to draw it back directly? In most cases it results with too short positioning because you applied too little spin. On the other hand, you can draw the cue ball back too much, what once again result with a shot we didn't want. And actually, to make easiest possible position to the 9 ball, you need to just put the cue ball behind the 4 ball and make it into the top left corner. With bit of top spin and very low speed, we are able to guide the cue ball towards intended area much easier than before. However, I believe that most of advanced players know exactly what they should do, because instead they will play 4 ball into the bottom left corner again, but this time leaving a bit more angle towards side rail. This is absolutely most common shot here, because with touch of low right spin, we are able to land with perfect position to the 9 ball. And actually, you can even leave angle to the other side, what is actually not recommended. But remember, never ever put the cue ball perfectly straight to the 4 ball. I was in this situation many times, and at the first look it seems to be really easy, but trust me, this is a really tricky shot. We face very long striding shot, and I have seen this countless times, where players desperately tried to create angle from nowhere and move the cue ball to the left side of the table. Please, don't do it like this. On the other hand, I can see players who try to slow roll the cue ball to land on the right side of the table, and this is another big mistake. But don't worry, we have actually two solutions, where in the first one we need to play a stun shot to move the cue ball slightly forward. This is a very difficult shot and requires a lot of experience, because we need to hit the cue ball tiny bit above the center and use very high speed. Therefore, if you are a less experienced player, I have a completely different solution for you that turns out to have a similar result. Your goal is to hit the cue ball very low, but with enough speed to change backward rotation into forward rotation. Initially, we use firmer stroke to hit the cue ball very low, but after a certain distance, the cue ball starts to lose this rotation, slows down, and just before the object ball it has forward rotation. It is a much better choice than slow rolling, because we reduce high risk of curve and cue ball going along correct line. But honestly, in pool we experience a lot more uncomfortable situations, so you need to watch this video where I present another bunch of tips to help you deal with these annoying tricky shots.